Welcome back to Forever United TV, everybody. I hope you're doing fantastically well. I am going to ask you to just do one thing, and that's just listen to this clip here.
Why did you feel like you couldn't play the style in terms of the same style?
Because then you have to bring in players. So then you need
Back
a
to
budget.
recruitment.
In the recruitment, you need the players with those typical assets. And
play your style of football, your formation, or do you perhaps need to pick a style of football, a philosophy that suits the players you already have here?
No, as a coach, you have to choose one way or another. I choose always 100% our way. I prefer to risk a little bit, but to push in the first moment. If they feel that since first day I believe so much in our way of playing, they will believe too. So there is no second doubts, no second way. It's one way, and we are going to do it.
You can see the difference. You can see the difference instantly. I'm going to list out 5 things that will change under Amorim that will take Manchester United to that next level. Of course, we have all of the other news around Manchester United at the moment as well. We're going to bring you the obvious up-to-date transfer speculation and rumours, but we want to know about the now. The here and now is what's important. The ins and the outs of what's going on at Manchester United. That is what we want to get into, and that is the hot topic this morning on the show. Please get your comments in the live section. Make sure you give the video a like, and make sure that you have subscribed to Forever United TV. If you love Manchester United, hit that subscribe button. If you want content daily and up-to-date content on Manchester United, we are the place to be. Make sure you give the video a like as well. And hello everybody, it is Saturday morning. The weekend is here. Manchester United and Ruben Amorim have arrived. I want to get into 5 things that I feel are going to change under Ruben Amorim that are going to make an instant impact, and that is within the next year, 2 years. The contract that Ruben Amorim has got, why is it going to be so different here with Ruben Amorim? We're going to go through his quotes, his interview, his press conference. We're going to go through what changes we can actually see happening at United and why they're going to impact Ruben Amorim and why it's going to be so different under this manager instead of previous managers, particularly Ten Hag. You've seen in that quote there, in that clip, and well done to the person who put that up on Twitter. I've just nicked that off there just to show everybody. It's like, this is what is there in plain sight. The difference and an understanding of what is in front of Ruben Amorim as head coach of Manchester United. And for number 1 on our list of 5 things, I want to just say the simple plan. The simple plan that these players understand. You know what? Sometimes you just have to drop down a level, don't you? And I'm not saying this in any disrespectful way. I think that could come across in a sort of like slant at the players a little bit here. Just make it simple. I think that works in any form of business, industry, any walk of life. Just keep it simple so it's easy to understand. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't overanalyze it. Just get in there and just make it easy for people to get a grasp of what you want, that plan, that idea, that philosophy, whatever you want to call it. Just make it easy for him to understand. And I think that's what Ruben Amorim has done in his initial first week at Manchester United. And why? And just, we know he's done that because he basically said this is what he has done in his press conference. He has said what Manchester United are setting out to do. And for number 1 on our list, I have to say that a simple idea and a simple plan, and him even breaking it down in front of Gary Neville in that interview yesterday that came out, I think it's clear for us to all see. So I think we can definitely say that the players are also going to be able to get a grasp of it and can understand it, if that makes sense as well. Number 2 on the list, there's no fallback for these players. There's no former staff. He has cleared the decks. There is no one hanging around of Manchester United staff from before. It's Ruben's way. They are the only people in situ at Manchester United right now, and they are the ones that are going to be calling the shots. There's no one to go to for these Manchester United players. I'm going to bring up some more stories and headlines in a bit after I've got through these 5 reasons and go through them in a bit more detail. But I feel like that is massive for Manchester United right now. Whereas before, like we were thinking of keeping Ruud van Nistelrooy. I myself said, look, I wouldn't mind if Van Nistelrooy stayed. He was very clear and understanding, but this is a man that said he wants to manage Manchester United, and Ruben Amorim has let him go. He doesn't want him as part of his staff. He wants to do it his way. He keeps on talking about saying, our way. We're going to do it like this. And this is with his team and what he knows has worked with him before. So no one for these players to fall back on. No former players, no former staff, no one to bitch and moan to about them not getting their way or not getting them out of game time or anything like that. They feel like they're being mistreated or isolated by the coach. Deal with it in-house there. There's only certain people you can go to. If you don't like them, it's tough. There's the high road, basically. Number 3 on the list, an understanding of what Manchester United is and what is needed right now. And that is that time factor. He understands the situation that we're in. He understands why Manchester United have brought him in right now. He said it in his press conference. He said it in his interview. I'm the right man at the right time for Manchester United. That's what this club needed. I'm here to come in and move Manchester United forward in the best way I possibly can, in the quickest way. Time, he's not going to say he needs time. He's just going to say we need to win. We need to win now. That will earn us the time to move forward. Goes back to rule number 1 and why it's going to be different. It's a simple plan. Give the players something to latch onto instantly that they can implement straight away to give them the confidence to then gather momentum, learn the system, gain time, and keep moving up that table, keep moving up towards them Champions League places. The whole understanding of what Manchester United needs right now is key, and I think why that is at number 3. And understanding what Manchester United need right now, I think, is vital to us moving forward as a football club. And I feel like that will also get the fans on board as well. It's like he knows. He talks about the fans in this. He understands the fans. He knows there'll be split emotions and it will be different in some sections of the fan base to others. Some will need to see more. Some can understand what he's trying to do. Don't take his enthusiasm and how happy he is as naivete in the situation in front of him. He is ecstatic and over the moon to be in the position he is in, but he understands the job in hand and what he needs to do. And I feel like that is everything that really matters right now for Manchester United, that we really need to look at and say, yes, this is why. And it gives you that feeling like it's going to be a bit different as well. 4, a history of working quickly and working well with players. He has said in his press conference there straight away, these players are working hard, they want to work hard, and they are open to change. They are going to have to change. And by that, he means players are going to play in certain positions, but still play exactly the same way as another characteristic is of another player in the football team. That's a difference as well. These players straight away, and getting into these players early and making them understand what is going on. Going straight back to the start of Ten Hag's era, we lost 2 games badly. He basically, from what I watched in pre-season, into them first two games of the Premier League, he deserted his whole philosophy to try and fit his team in place and suit the players that were on the pitch. Not happening under Ruben Amorim. These players have to accept that they're going to have to change the way that they play and the way that they play in-game management, and all of that rolled into that simple plan. Again, it's like number 1 and number 3 and number 4, they're all linked together. Everything about what Amorim has said and what he said in his press conference and in that interview is of an instant change, but only if the players are willing to move with him. He says he's got the players on board. They understand. He thinks that these players can take United to that next level. He can see that quality in these players. He believes in them players, and it's up to them now. I feel like that alone, the clean slate factor, is why it's going to change. And you could say that was happening with Ten Hag, but he didn't have a simple plan. He changed and abandoned things straight away. So if you're a player and you see a manager coming in or a coach coming in and he's got this idea through pre-season, you're all on board, it's great, and then it fails at the first hurdle and then he reverts to something completely different just to adapt and get by, what confidence have you got in a player? Your standards automatically drop and you obviously fall off again. And then you don't know what you're striving for. You don't know what you've got to get to because you're just making do. You're just getting by. There is no process. There was no plan with him. I don't know what he was talking about before, but this is where the players are going to differ under Ruben Amorim, I feel, anyway. And of course, please make sure you get your comments in below if you're catching up later. I'm going to come to the live chat in a moment. Number 5, the biggest one out of all of them, and what's going to take us into the headlines of this morning's show as well, is INEOS. That is the whole difference. INEOS hired Ruben Amorim. Amorim is an INEOS man. Ten Hag wasn't. They are on board with what he wants to do. They brought him in for what he created at Braga, at Casapia, at Sporting. He wants to move players forward quickly. He wants to adapt them. He wants to progress them. INEOS know the timescale that they've got. They know what's in front of them and the task at hand, the lack of money. They've brought Amorim in for a reason, and that's to make best of what they've got right now. If he doesn't, then obviously it's down to them to start backing him in the transfer market, and that's where it's key. I feel like they did back Ten Hag in the summer. If Ruben Amorim gets anywhere near the same sort of backing as what Ten Hag did, then we are in for a serious roller coaster, and it's going to be a smooth ride as well, I feel. Well, better than what it was. I think more ups than downs, to be honest. Probably the comparison to a roller coaster probably didn't work there, to be honest. It's wrong, but I feel like Manchester United are going to be on that takeoff and going upwards, continually going upwards with Ruben Amorim. And yeah, they're my 5 reasons. The big one being INEOS right at the end. And you can come back at me and say, look, Adam, you're just going off hype here. You're going off what you feel might happen in your own opinion. Yeah, you could argue that. But what you cannot argue is what we've seen so far and what we've listened to and what he said. And deny that what I've just brought up there in them 5 reasons why it's going to work with Ruben Amorim and he's going to change things around. You cannot really argue with them because they are factual and that's what's happened. And INEOS in place now put all the first 4 right on point, and that's how it works. And for me, that's what we have to look at, and that's what we need to cling on to more than anything. So, in all of that, so we have got plenty of live comments coming in. Please give the video a like, everybody, as well. Make sure you have subscribed as well. Saturday morning, the weekend is here, and football is finally back in the Premier League. Thank God. And we can start really judging football and Ruben Amorim ball right now. So, let's get into some of the comments on this straight away. Brett says, any players that don't buy into what Amorim wants will be exiled very quickly. Don't do what is expected and it'll be goodbye. And that's exactly what has been needed for a decade. Yes, it has. It really has. I believe in Amorim. I don't believe in the club. They won't sell Rashford, even if Amorim wants to. Star boy, poster boy, whatever they can call him. He is a curse in this club. Well, we can't sell him yet, can we, Ginge? We cannot sell him right now, so Ruben's got to try and make something of him. I think that's the reality, and we have to accept the reality that Rashford's not going to be moved on anytime soon. The closest he's going to be is in the summer. 7 more months of Marcus Rashford, and then we'll make a decision on him then. So let's just back Amorim at this point and say, look, maybe he can get more out of Marcus Rashford in this spell now going forward. Gehen says, Amorim will need to get the older players out of the summer. We need to sell as many players as possible so we can finance the new beginning. I want to see a team, not any individuals. And that is obviously going to be the same for any club, really. You have to have a team. And he has alluded to that as well. It's about the team. It's about building the team. Everybody will have the same instruction. Everybody will have the same task and react exactly as one, the same way. It's not an individual role and per position. It's just a team reacting the same way. If we do that, we play as a team. We understand each other's roles. We understand what's happening with players, understand their game better than what we did before. Therefore, being able to handle adversity within games better, when you go down or when something doesn't work, you are going to get a different reaction from these players. And that is everything I feel that is important in what's going on with Manchester United and obviously what we can expect going forward under Ruben Amorim. I feel like United right now are in a position where we just need an understanding on the pitch. We need these players as one. We need these players to understand each other more than anything. I think that's key in all of this. I think that's massive right now at Manchester United. And do you know what? I feel like he has, and the way he's talking, I think he will get that from them. I think he will get that out of the players. And ultimately, in the end, he's going to be judged on what he can do with these players this season. And if that gives INEOS the confidence to go out into the transfer market in the summer. There's a really interesting piece that's come out regarding Dan Ashworth and how Ruben Amorim explains the importance of Dan Ashworth. It's being on the same page. You said that. We're on the same page. We understand. And that's key. the dream team basically is Amorim and INEOS. That's the big difference in this. That's why I picked up INEOS as number 5. Dan Ashworth, sporting director, he alluded to Jason Wilcox numerous times in his interview and his press conference yesterday as how important it is for the youth level of Manchester United coming through and the academy being better than what it is. It's already brilliant and he wants it even better. So it's an understanding of that to be able to bring them players through into the first team. But also alongside that, there's been more talk about Dan Ashworth as well, and him being on the same page as him. If things don't work on the pitch, he has to understand why it's going wrong and has to believe in Ruben Amorim as well. Back your coach. Now, this is a coach that INEOS have obviously employed, and it wasn't the one from before. You could clearly see they didn't want Ten Hag. So now everybody is really going to be focusing on INEOS, and by the time this season finishes, will they back their coach? Will they listen to Amorim in getting rid of players that are not working? That quote that came out from Amorim, I think, is probably one of the most important ones. And we have talked about this numerous times on shows, haven't we, throughout the week. Since Amorim's announcement of coming to the club, can INEOS provide what is needed for Amorim to succeed? That is backing him if things don't go wrong. That's backing him if things go wrong with players. Certain players will not last. We know this. They have to be on the same level. And when it comes to recruitment, he alluded to recruitment yesterday. He will have a say because he is the coach. It's not a definite. He was asked about that in the press conference. Has that been written out that you have the final say? He wouldn't answer it, so clearly it doesn't. There's a structure there that has to work for him, and they have to work around what he wants to play like as well. And that is in the profile of player. And he talked about it with the Gary Neville interview. The fitness levels, the stamina, the attributes to a certain player to play a certain role within a team in a system that he wants to play, and they have to find them players for him, and then he will have a say on the players that they find, pick the best one out of that. If they don't align Ashworth, the structure, Ruben Amorim and his team, it won't work. INEOS are the biggest key to any of this working right now. Amorim will do his thing. We know he's got the qualities. We know what he's going to bring to the table. Amorim will do what he has done at previous clubs. INEOS have to fall in line with that. He knows where United are. He knows the level that United are at and what is expected. He said it and it's clear. He knows it's a global club. It's not Sporting. The expectation levels are higher. He's going to do his thing to his level at Manchester United and what he's done in previous jobs. Will INEOS back him and how he wants to work and do that? They've employed him to do exactly what he's done at Sporting and Braga, Casapia, if you want to go back that far. Are they going to back him at United's level? That's the question, and why INEOS is key to Amorim succeeding ahead of anybody else in previous years at Manchester United who's come in as manager or coach or whatever you want to say or describe him as. I feel like that's where the momentum is. If they let Amorim do Amorim, United will be back. It depends if they try and have too much of a say in what's going on. Like, understandably, before, the football was crap and they had to make a decision. But right now, we've got to get behind a man that is going to come with a completely different direction. And that direction, it has to take Manchester United forward. I think it will. I think it will get United to that next level, but only if they are right behind him in what he wants to do. Let's get into the chat before we move on to the other news as well. They're my 5 reasons why Ruben Amorim is going to make it at Manchester United and why it's going to be different and he will succeed where others have failed. I want to get your comments on this now, as well as that one around Dan Ashworth and understanding what he wants and being on the same page. I think everyone's alluded to that in their own different way in the comments from what I can see so far. But still, I think we have to have at this football club right now, a togetherness. It sounds corny, doesn't it, saying that, a togetherness. But yeah, a togetherness and understanding, clear communication and a direction. I think it's clear. I think INEOS have put it out and laid it out. We need to be at a certain point by a certain time. So Jim Radcliffe said 3 years. Omar Barad has sort of gone on a little bit more and said 2008. This is it. This is the start. Official start of INEOS' era at Manchester United is tomorrow at Portman Road. It all starts here. It's their people. It's their philosophy. It's how they want to be. It's how they want Manchester United to be. It's what they expect from the football club. All starts tomorrow at 4:30 at Portman Road. And this is what the real start of Manchester United and turning of the page is. Let's hope it's like when Newcastle bought Howe in. If we can have their desire with our talent, we are the only way is up. That's from Jeffrey. My predicted 11 for Ipswich is Ananio, Licha, Dalot, Agati, Casemiro, Mazraoui, Bruno, Garnacho and Hyland. I think Garnacho will be out for Ahmad and Hyland will be out for Rashford on that team. Other than that, Mark, I think that will be pretty much bang on the money, mate. I want to see young dynamic team working together to get better and better. I want to see a player following the instructions of the manager and belief in what he's doing, says Gehern. You got Roz. How do you think they will use a player that has skill but that they have already said is on his last legs with the club like Ericsson? I feel like Ericsson is not going to fit into this system. I mean, I've said this before. Ericsson has been standout for Manchester United this season. He has been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for the club and the team. And I think he's been probably one of the best professionals we've had this season. But there are players that were not going to get a new contract past the one that they've got before Ruben Amorim arrived. How he utilises him this season, I'm not sure yet. I'm excited to see how he does. I don't think you're going to see Ericsson starting as many games as what he did under Ten Hag. That's all I'll say on that, mate. And I do believe that he will be used, but not in the same way. And it's a shame because he was having a really good season as well. But we cannot think on individual levels right now. We cannot just put a player in because he is working individually. This is what we've done before. We've waited for their moments. And let's be honest, we've never controlled a game. We've just expected them big players to stand up when we've needed them. And ultimately, Ericsson has done this season. And credit to him, like I said. But there has to be a big call and a big decision made in certain players. And this goes for Bruno as well if it's not working for him. And every other player in this team. Look, if it's not working in the system and it's not working like Ruben Amorim says as a team and they're working as a unit, then that player goes. If he is one of the best quality individual players on the planet, one of the most skillful and the most dynamic, the best record in front of goal, whatever it may be, but it's not working in the team, he's out. That's how they handle it. And that is what I see and what Amorim is saying. The staff that have come out and said it, and we talked about this before the press conference yesterday, when we said he doesn't care about any ego, he doesn't care about any profile of player, wage package, what squad number you are, your history at the football club. If you're not working in his system, you're out of the bleeding team. It's the high road. And that is how he handles it. And he'll just handle it a little bit better, maybe. Hopefully he will. And we won't get the isolation factor that we had with some players at Manchester United that Ten Hag was creating. That big issue that he was making. And I feel like Amorim is just going to approach it differently. A bit more charm, maybe. I mean, he's got all the players on board right now, hasn't he? But still, I feel like it is going to be done the Ruben Amorim way. And INEOS need to get behind that. He will give the players the soft salt treatment at start. Get them on board. Get them convinced in the system. If it doesn't work within a team, then they're going to have to sit it out. If they don't like it, then they start kicking up a stink. Then INEOS aren't going to be like the old regime and start letting these players rule over the manager. Then players are going to be put firmly in their place. It's brilliant to see that every single Manchester United player is going to be held accountable now. I think that's exactly what we've needed at this football club for a very long time. Ericsson has been quality. I know, Shai, he won't get extended, but he has pleasantly surprised me this year. Yep, I agree with that one. Andrew says, we have to believe results will be the proof. The players will have to get on the bus and enjoy the trip. If they don't want to or want to get off, they are the players that go in the summer. Straightforward and clear. Yeah, I agree with that one, Andrew. Barbaro, what he needs to bring is steel and desire to fight for everything. United have been soft and too easy to play against. The physicality factor of this team. Ruben Amorim again yesterday talked about this, and I think again it goes all the way back to Ralph Rangnick, doesn't it? And what he was saying, the physicality factor. We're too easy to play against. We don't have that bite. We don't have that hunger, that steel, that toughness. Like what the comment just said there. It has to come back. We have to be, at first, difficult to beat. We have to be as one, as a unit. And then we need to find our own way, our own identity, like Ruben Amorim says. But he has noticed clear and obvious issues at Manchester United before he's even started watching them play for himself. He's seen it on TV. And he even said yesterday, didn't he? He said, look, everybody can see it, and laughed at the same time as saying it. Is it that obvious that other managers really are that deluded that they couldn't see it? It does look that way, doesn't it? He has come in and he has just stated the clear and obvious in front of everybody and gone, this is what we need to fix first. Let's get back to the basics of what needs to happen in structure and shape and what the player roles are, identity, and then we'll move on from there. Quality will probably shine through at this first stage with Manchester United players in the quality that we've got in this team. If they're playing as one, that quality will shine through eventually. And then we can move on to that next level. It's all there and all set up for me, for every single player to realise their potential or just F off. See you later. And I think that is what's going through that squad right now. And I think a big change is coming. And I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow to see just the initial sort of work rate, application and what's going to come in the game. Okay, on to the next segment. Please give the video a like. We're creeping up to that 150 mark. Can you get that 200 like mark again in this show? Make sure you have subscribed as well, so you're up to date with all Manchester United news and content. It comes to you daily. Into what is going on with United, particularly in the transfer rumour section right now. Let's just get into the obvious ones. And a big name that's come up, again, this is a target that Manchester United were looking at. We covered this many a times in the summer, but Edison from Atalanta. Now, Edison was I think has become a City target as well because of Rodri and cover needed. City's players are aging, obviously. Pep Guardiola, as we know, has extended his contract by 2 years now, so 2 more years of Pep. Bad news for Liverpool, bad news for Arsenal. Not particularly us right now because we're not that level yet. He can sod off in 2 years and then we'll just roll in and take over again. I'm only joking, but you know what I mean by that as well. Manchester United are discussing and considering signing Atalanta midfielder Edison, who is highly valued internally. The club are looking for reinforcement in his position, possibly as early as January. Now, you wouldn't listen to anything rumour-wise or story-wise like that. I mean, you would say it's a bit of a nonsense, but the fact that it's Florian Plettenberg who's come out with this, again, don't look at January. This is just United doing their due diligence on players getting ready for the summer. Now, we know that Edison is going to be leaving, possibly Casemiro as well. We know that from reports earlier on this week, United are earmarking 2 more midfielders for the transfer window as well. Edison, we know we have spoken to Atalanta before. We could have signed him in the summer, but we didn't have enough time to get it done. Atalanta could not get a replacement through the door for him, so we couldn't make that signing. United's relationship, obviously, with Atalanta in taking Ahmad and Rasmus. Will it be different with INEOS in charge? Yeah, Atalanta are probably not going to get as much money out of Manchester United if they go in with a deal on this. But Edison is the quality that United need in midfield. When you're talking about steel and determination and toughness, with that little bit of quality and agility on top, Edison is your man. This is can you imagine Edison in the midfield possibly mixing in with Agate, Mainu? Edison, you've got to move forward. You've got to adapt your team going forward. And there are aging players at Manchester United, like going into next season, like you would have had Casemiro in his 30s. You've got Eriksen in his 30s, Bruno Fernandes into his 30s. You need to start bringing more players through to start filling in these roles and start adapting and changing. But Edison, again, being brought up from numerous sources as well, and not just Plettenberg, but everyone's quoting what Plettenberg has said. I don't think this deal is doable in January, definitely not. I do believe that it is one that could happen next summer, though. If we're looking in for a midfielder, obviously Edison has got what? He's going to be 1 year less on his contract. I'm just going to actually bring up Edison now just to check out his contract situation. Let's just see where Edison is at with his contract. So, yeah, his contract has got 2 years to go at the end of this season. So, again, there you're into negotiation territory there. He either looks for a new club in the last 2 years, starts to look at it, or he gets a new deal at Atalanta. He's not going to stay at Atalanta. We all know this. It sounds like I'm being snobbish. It sounds like I'm being elitist, really, in it, because the Premier League is better. It is. The clubs in the Premier League are better. They are. Manchester United, the biggest club in the world. They are. What's going on at the club, the new direction, you have to say he's going to want to look elsewhere. He is 25 years old. and he's exactly what Manchester United need, I feel. I think he's an absolutely brilliant player. I think he is one that INEOS will definitely be looking at. Whether or not he fits in the Amorim idea box, we will wait and see, won't we? Because obviously we were looking at Edison last time, and that was under Ten Hag, and that was under a completely different setup at Manchester United. Now that Amorim is in, does Edison fall into that? Does Edison fall into that category of player that would fit the system? I think he does, in terms of what he actually brings and what he actually offers on the pitch. And he will give United a different dimension. I'm going to come to the chat on that in a minute. But also, Angel Gomez, who has been linked with Manchester United, has fully confirmed now that he is leaving Lille in 2025. Whether that be in January, we don't know. But he has definitely said that he is not signing a new contract at the football club. That news has come out yesterday as well. And that, again, is another player. Honestly, we don't need Gomez in January. We need Gomez in the summer if we are going to take him. Would I take him? Yes. I'm going to come to the chat right now on this one. Edison and Gomez, they're the two names that are being talked about amongst the rumour mill and speculation side of transfers today, everybody. So get in the comment section and let me know. I'm going to let that bubble up a little minute and come back to some of the previous comments as well. I think there are some Edison ones in already. Excuse me. Stephen has come up with a comment regarding the Premier League and Manchester City. So the Premier League and FA got what they wanted off Man City. Backdoor payments for the 115. Not necessarily. We'll still wait and see what happens on that one. Edison said he was flattered by Manchester City's interest in him. City might get him in January for 42 mil, says Almac. I don't think City will, personally. I think he'll wait it out. I think there'll be more offers coming in the summer, and Atalanta know the position that they're in and what they're competing for right now. Excuse me. That they need Edison in the team. I think they can hold out. They can afford to hold out, obviously, because they've got Champions League money, Champions League football still. He wants to be part of that. I think they'll hold out to the summer, which gives United an opportunity, I feel. And I feel like that now, for us, is where everything is going to play into our favour, because beforehand, like we've said before, with all of the transfers, like we were talking about Alphonso Davies, now Real Madrid are in for him. Now when there's a player in and City are in for that player as well, beforehand we're probably thinking there's no way they're going to come to Manchester United. But with INEOS in, Amorim in, then Manchester United now look like a completely different proposition. They look like they're actually competing again in the transfer market. And I look at this as an opportunity for United now to show what they are going to do in backing Ruben Amorim. I think it's important that we do as well. And I don't know if Amorim wants these players. He's not even talking about transfers right now. That according to what he said in his interview with Gary Neville. He's not even thinking about it. He needs to know the players first at Manchester United, which is why I didn't want to go in with transfer rumours straight off the bat today. It's important that we deal with the here and now and what's happening at Manchester United. And I feel like we are in a position where I feel it will get better, and then obviously we can then start talking the possibilities of enhancements and improvements into the squad as we go along. Imagine being a Liverpool fan and spending your time in United fan channels. Obsessed is understatement. Do we have long lost Liverpool fans in here? I don't know. Be nice, everybody, as well. We only get rid of people that are abusive. Need younger, fitter players with intensity, says Andrew. You got Raw. Shouldn't Scousers be worried about replacing Salah and Trent instead of flooring our fan channels? It looks like we have got a bitter Liverpool fan in doing his bit, maybe. Get some comments in on Edison and get some comments in on Angel Gomez as well, please, everybody. Let me know what you think. Jeffrey says, Pep staying. If they get relegated, he will be there. What happened to I'll leave if we broke the rules? Look, do I feel like City are going to get done? Personally, me, right now, looking at it, you could look at the Pep signing his new deal and say, obviously, he knows that he's going to be safeguarded in the future, so City are clearly going to get away with these charges. We don't know. We don't know. I think they will get pulled on some. The Premier League cannot come out of this with not being able to hold any of them charges down. They have to come out with this. They have to come out with this with something. Otherwise, serious questions are going to be asked of the Premier League. The integrity of the league and everything gets thrown into question then, and you start to really get concerned about what's going on behind the scenes. So they do need to win something out of Manchester City. But Pep signing that deal, a lot of people have looked down the lines of that, deep into it, or further down the line of going, does that mean that City are getting away with it? He said that they are very, very confident now, or got some inside info that they're going to be okay, and then he stays now, and that's why he signed a 2-year deal. 2-year, at first it was supposedly a 1-year rolling, but now it's a 2-year one, so maybe they are getting away with it. We can only concentrate on what we're doing though right now, and they are gettable even with the rules that they have broken. So yeah, let's just look at that and say, let's not worry too much about City, let's concentrate on what's going on with us. The football world has changed since Leicester. That was a one-off. Looks at history, a one-off. Our fixtures kind of helped us, honestly. 4 home with Rude, then 1 away for Amorim, then 2 at home in the EPL. Yeah, I look at it and you go, really on paper, and we said this before, Arsenal coming up in a couple of weeks. We've got Ipswich and then Everton at home. Ipswich away, Everton at home, and then Arsenal. How close can we be before that Arsenal game? How close can we be to Arsenal before we go into that? And you're talking about United in a completely different way then, aren't you? You're talking about United... you're talking about United in a different context. We're talking about them actually getting into the top 4. And I feel like then people will start to take notice and look at Manchester United as a team that could be challenging going forward. A team that could actually be threatening in a couple of years' time. They need to make that first step. The first step is obviously competing for the top 4 and getting in there. And then when we get there, it's about INEOS backing Amorim, like I said earlier on, and staying there with the right quality of players. And that's what's important. The thing is, Gomez is a risk. It depends what Amorim thinks of him. Personally, I would give him a try. For a free transfer, it's looking good. London has donated a membership. Jeremy has taken that one. Welcome to the Members Club, Jeremy. Please do thank London in the chat. Thank you for that, London, buddy. We talk United. Flip City. Can't wait for Sunday. Honestly, most viewership on Sunday guaranteed. Everybody's going to be glued to their box on Sunday for that game against Ipswich. All anybody's going to be waiting for this weekend. Yeah, you could say the Spurs City game's got something, but everyone's waiting. R4 tomorrow afternoon. Let's see what happens at Portman Road. Let's see if United are another false dawn, or if we are going to actually turn some things around under Ruben Amorim. So, yeah, I think that's what is important right now. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to actually talking about the football that Amorim is playing for United, or has got United playing. The talking and build-up is pretty much done. We know where we're going. We know what we have to do. Let's see if we can actually get there. Let's see if we can actually get the result this weekend and get a performance out of these players. Kevin says Edison and Gomez in the summer is a good upgrade on our midfield options. Do we feel like both of them players are an upgrade on what we've got? It's a good point from Kevin there in the chat. Do we feel like Edison and Angel Gomez are better than what we've got right now? Because it has to be better. They have to be better. Otherwise, there's no point in spending the money. We haven't got a lot of it. So make sure that it is spent well. I think that's key in all of this. Amorim Presser has dominated Pep new contract. Yes, it has. Oh, it did. It was brilliant, isn't it? It is. A midfield of Agate, Edison and Kobe. Wow, says Andrew. Agreed. It does sound tasty, doesn't it? It does sound tasty. Let's get some more. First game, we just wait and see. Can't punish the boys or the manager. No, we're just waiting for a reaction. More than anything, I think, in this first game against Ipswich. We just want to see if we get anything out of these players. We want to see if there is any change in application, determination, anything like that. I think it's key that we see a little bit of change. I think that's all we're looking for. I think that's all that matters right now for Manchester United. I think we'll still win. I'm confident. Don't forget, I've gone for a 3-1 win for Manchester United. We will be back later on with more content later on this evening as well. And then obviously tomorrow we are going to be doing even more build-up to the game, early doors in the morning again. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to what's to come. This weekend is going to be epic. I've just got a really good feeling about it. How is everyone feeling about the game, actually? How's your confidence levels? Let me know as well, everyone, in the chat. I want to know how you're feeling about United as a whole after this last couple of days. Amorim coming in, the press conference, the interview. It was quick fire yesterday. We had loads of content, but not as much chance to let you guys have your say in the chat as well. So make sure you do get your comments in. And how you're feeling as well. Lots of people getting ready for Christmas. Is everyone putting the Christmas trees up today, by the way? I think that's going to be happening in quite a few households, isn't it? You people. 3-0/3-1 says Jeremy. I think, yeah. 3-1 to United. I do. I'm confident we're going to get a real positive result. 2-1 United tomorrow. Garnacho and Fernandes, says Mark. I'll take it. Honestly, I'll take any win as long as we get a little bit of performance as well. Any win is a bonus, really, tomorrow for us. I feel like it's there and it's gettable. But, yeah. Just to go over my 5 reasons why Ruben Amorim will be different and will make a difference. Again, it's what we talked about at the top of the show. In fact, just for anyone who is just joining us right now, I'm just going to play the clip again that I played at the start of the show. Just to show you the difference and how I see it, basically, in how Amorim is talking compared to what Ten Hag was talking last season.
Why did you feel like you couldn't play the style in terms of the same style?
Because then you have to bring in players. So then you need a budget.
Recruitment.
In the recruitment, you need the players with those typical assets. And
play your style of football, your formation, or do you perhaps need to pick a style of football, a philosophy that suits the players you already have here?
No, as a coach, you have to choose one way or another. I choose always 100% our way. I prefer to risk a little bit, but to push in the first moment. If they feel that since first day I believe so much in our way of playing, they will believe too. So there is no second doubts, no second way. It's one way, and we are going to do it.
My 5 reasons. Number 1, a simple plan. Number 2, no fallback for the players, i.e. staff members gone. Fresh start, only Ruben Amorim staff there. Number 3, an understanding of what's needed at Manchester United, the expectation levels and what he can do now. The history of working with players quickly and turning things around quickly like he has at Casapia, Braga and Sporting. And number 5, the key one out of all of that is INEOS' backing behind what he needs to do and what he has done before. They're the 5 reasons that I feel Ruben Amorim will succeed where other managers, in particular Ten Hag, have failed before. But that is our morning show. You are completely up to date with all of your news and my reasons why Ruben Amorim is going to be the man at Manchester United. Thank you, everybody in the chat. It was another great show. I really appreciate all of your support, comments, likes. Give the video a like on the way out as well. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well, so you're up to date with all Manchester United news and content. We've got it for you daily. Cheers for watching. I'll see you